He lets all things come and go, effortlessly, without desire. He never expects results, thus he is never disappointed. He is never disappointed, thus his spirit never grows old. The burden of expectation. What is expectation? Well, we are born into this world with heavy amounts of expectation. Expectation of how we are to act. Expectation of where we are to go, how we are to talk, what we are to eat, how we are to interact with others, expectation from jobs, from relationships. You get the picture. What is expectation? Expectation is the ego vying for control. Expectation is similar to obligation. It is something that keeps us trapped in the illusion. It is a limiting factor. It is an attachment. Expectation is the ego attached to the illusion. It keeps us in lower perspectives. It keeps us from seeing the truth. It puts a limiting factor on our evolution, our spiritual awakening. So how do we release this burden of expectations? What does the Tao Te Ching says? The first passage was from the Tao Te Ching. It also says, do your work and step back. Do not be attached to the fruits of your labor, because it's a game. We're doing it all for God anyway. We're doing it all for the present moment of God's love. It's all a game. We need not be attached to the fruits of our labor. We need not be attached to anything, the result of anything, because it's merely keeping us trapped in the illusion. We need to stand in the center of the circle. How do we release expectations? How do we release attachments? How do we dissolve the ego? Because we just keep going back. We need to dissolve the ego to release attachments, to release expectations. So how do we do this? Well, we have to stand in the center of the circle. How do we stand in the center of the circle? We have to facilitate a state of peace. We have to reconstitute the mind. All these things. We have to remove the aggravators. We have to achieve a state of balance. We have to achieve a state of balance, which will allow us to start to unravel these quagmires we're in, these quagmires of these burdens we catch ourselves in, these burdens of obligation, these burdens of expectations, these burdens of truth, all these things that weigh us down. We need to go back to the foundations. And I have videos on all of these things. If you check out my YouTube channel and my TikTok, on things like removing the aggravators. How do we remove expectations so we're not trapped by others' expectations and by our own? How do we get to the point where we can just let it all go and just let the divine take care of it all? Because that's the goal. That's presence and purification. Those are the two foundations to removing any of these traps, any of these attachments that have holds on us. Presence, purification, and God's love. Reconstituting the mind. We have to empty the mind of all the junk. We have to let the mind work itself out and calm itself down. We have to purify the body. All these things work in conjunction with one another. Remember, expectation is the ego vying for control. Control is an illusion. There is no control. There is only the cosmic unfolding. All the worries, all the cares, all the fears, merely the ego wrapped up in the illusion. Our cosmic beloved will set us free. Namaste.